And I just want to give a heads up that this call is being recorded, and we place our recordings on our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, you may want to drop off now. And folks, if you are kind enough, please let anybody in if I am looking at the other screen. So with that, let's once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Our topic of discussion today is Azure Business Continuity Center. Okay, this is the service that is in public preview, and we are going to talk about it and some of the use cases and feature. And most of the time we are going to spend is on the demo. So that's that. So first of all, what is Business Continuity Center? Continuity Center. So this is, if I want to put it in one sentence, it is a single pane of glass to address your BCDR management. And when I say BCDR, Business Continuity and Disaster Recovery Management, and with that, I mean ability to set up BCDR for your resources. That can be VM, that can be storage account, databases, things like that. Number two, ability to monitor how they are being backed up. Are there any issues? Okay. And number three, ability to see the security compliance, because this is has become now a big challenge for different teams. So like how security and compliance a key part of an enterprise, and they want to see if everything that they're doing in regards to backup and disaster recovery is compliance to their policy. And that's what it allows you to do. So basically allows you to set up BCDR, allows you to monitor BCDR, allows you to see if um, your BCDR operations are compliant based on whatever policy that you are using. So that's some of the key things that it provides. And here is some of the more um, detail on that. So as I said, number one, single pane of glass for all your actions like setting up, backups and disaster recovery and things like that. You have, before it was different services that you have to use. You have to go to, Recovery Vault. You have to go to Azure Backup Center, things like that. What they have done is everything is now moving in this direction. And by the way, if you go into Azure portal and search for Azure Backup Center, you won't be able to find it. This is the new destination where you should be using for all your backups and disaster recovery tasks. So that's the key thing. So as I said, this allows you to have all these BCDR capability in kind of make them you know unified under a single pane of glass, and of course at scale monitoring and all that. So let's jump into a quick demo. Okay, so here we're gonna go. Uh, so this is, first of all, as you can see here, Azure Backup Center is no longer available. So what you do here is you type in Business Continuity Center, and here we go. Here is your Business Continuity Center. Okay. So just let's start with the first screen. Okay. And what you see is a a view of what different things that are available for you. First of all, you see protection. What are the protectable resources? Okay. So what resources you can be protected? There are 34 storage account at this moment. And why it is not showing any VMs? I have some VMs as well. You have to change the filter. Okay. So you can say if you want to see Azure virtual machines and apply, it will show you, okay, there are three virtual machines that you can protect, and there is one protected. Okay. What is the BCDR coverage? There is some security issues, so we can address those. There is monitoring. There are no critical issues at this moment. And then there are policies. So what are compliant and what are not compliant at this moment? And we will show you like how to set up policies and well. Okay. So this is that. Okay. So and let's go through each item so we can kind of get us familiarized, and then we will start going with the configuring the protection. So first of all, here, once again, same thing here. You see, it is only showing you the virtual machine. Okay. And if we go to the storage account, look, here we go. I mean, it shows you all the storage account and different subscription that um, you are a part of. It's showing you all that. So think of it. Um, Gives you a way to see all the resources, not going through, okay, I need to go here and then do this and this, or do here and do this and this. And all of that is available here at your disposal, and you can take a look at that. Okay. And then it will show list of protected items. Once again, this is showing virtual machine by default. You can look at Azure Blob Storage and set up. So this is basically, this is one protected item. I have set up Azure Blob Storage. And then, so let's start with configuring protection. Okay, so let's configure protection for see how it does it at scale. So first of all, it's going to ask you Azure, and we are not talking about non-Azure or Arc. And what we're going to do is we are going to talk about virtual machines. So we are going to pick virtual machine, and solution is Azure Site Recovery. And let's continue. And you have to pick up subscription. So this is okay. Let's go to backup one more time. Sorry. Okay. So let's do backup and let's do Azure Virtual Machines. Continue. And it's going to ask you what is the recovery service vault that you want to use. Okay. So I want to use this vault. So that will be used. Okay. Let's continue on. And this is where you want to configure backup. You want to use the enhanced backup policy or standard backup policy. As you know that there are two type of backup policy. Standard backup policy is that which is there for quite some time. Enhanced backup policy that is there and it addresses it has some key feature. Number two, it has support for VMs that have ultra disk and premium disk. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure more and more customers are using these disks, and it wasn't supported with standard. Enhanced backup supported, and also it supports the backup of trusted launch VMs. Okay, so let's select one of those policy. Okay, we select the policy, and we don't want to make any changes here. So let's now add virtual machines. So here, I mean, think of it. Right now, there are only three. This is my test subscription. There may possibly be hundreds of VMs. Okay, so that's where we are talking about at scale, where you can select all those VMs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I'm going to say, okay, it's going to validate it. Can I do backup? And let's do enable backup and let the backup running and let it go. And in the meantime, let's go back to the Business Continuity Center and look at some of the um, you know protected items. So once again, we have this virtual machine that is protected. So if we uh, go to that protected items, that tells you it is protected through Azure Backup. This is enhanced protection that is happening. And these are the detail when the protection started and what is the secondary, region and all that. And then we can go in here and this will give you all the details. So these are all crash consistent backups, file system consistent, all of these. So you have all the details that you want to see that is kind of provided here. You can take a look at that and you can restore the VM and restore to a secondary region. All of these things are at your disposal as a part of, and I'm sure you just saw the notification, the backup. backup setup of the VM is now complete. Okay, just keep in mind it doesn't mean that backup is there. Okay, because what's going to happen is if we go back here, it's going to say that it's going to take some time for that backup to complete. So if we go into overview, you see, so there are two items. These are there are two items which are protected. This is both protected in primary and secondary region, and it is not protected currently. Remember, we just started there are two VMs, and we started the backup of the sec. We just started it. Okay, so it will take some time to get to green. Okay, let's see what jobs are going on, and that's where you can see. So this is the job. This is a scheduled backup job that is in progress. This just started, and this is in progress. So this job is currently going on. This is doing a backup. It's the time for backup, and this is the backup configuration job that has just been completed. Okay, so that's that. Um, so that's where you can go in and you can at scale see what are the changes. Um, you know, what are jobs that are running and go from there. And same thing, once again, just keep in mind if you are not seeing the resources that you are seeing, it means like, oh, where are my storage account? Just keep in mind you have to change that. Okay. So we go in here and okay, this is the storage account that is being going on. So let's protect now our storage account. Once again, go in here. We are gonna go Azure Blob Storage. We're gonna use Azure Backup and select the vault. So this is the vault, the backup vault that we are gonna be using, and select policy, storage backup policy. And if you want, you can create a new backup policy and backup policy is, of course, the name, and then how often you want to backup. You want to backup daily, weekly, whatever you want to do, you can create the policy. What are your retention rule? In some cases, you can store the data for more days, so all of that you can set up. And that's so basically all of that is going on at in this backup center. Once again, single pane of glass. You're not going into individual resources like backups and things like that and doing that. Okay. So once again, we come in here, continue, we select the vault. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. And then we select the backup policy. We're going to use the backup policy that we already have. And in terms of data sources, we go in and we pick up this store. This is a data store, basically Azure Blob Store that we are going to be backing up. And it will take a minute to validate, as you can see here. And once it's validated, we can move on next and start setting up the backup. Any questions so far? Okay, so while this is going on, let me take you back to the Business Continuity Center and we start looking at the other. So we already looked at jobs. We can look at the reports. We can create, this is the Azure Backup reports. I mean, it is automatically generated. So, yeah. So it will allow you to basically, create reports and things like that. Once again, single pane of glass. So now we have moved on to the report of somebody who is monitoring, who is seeing how things are going. They're looking at the jobs, they're looking at the reports and things like that. So they are doing the monitoring. Okay. So this is just keep in mind whenever you are setting it up you will have to set up a certain permission and and that's what is required here. So whenever you are setting up the backup there is a certain permission that is required And I will not go into detail. There is a detail available in the docs. So, and here are the basically, assign missing role and, do the recommended action. And once that is done, you should be able to back this up. Okay. So that's that because it need access. So basically, backup need access to this store, and you have to give that access. Once you give that access, then it will be good to go and able to access and do the backup. Let's go back here. There are the reports, and then you have the security posture. Okay, and this is important. I mean, you can see here what are some of the why some of the information that you see. So update vault security. So you see, you have each item, and what you need to do is you need to go in and update uh, security information about the vault. And there are certain things. So, for example, I haven't set this vault to be immutable. Okay, immutable means it cannot be deleted, or it will, once you delete it, it stays there for some time. So let's say somebody accidentally goes in and delete the vault. Okay, all your backups are gone. With this one, it will make sure that if it is accidentally deleted, that there is a chance for a recovery, and we can use it to and we can recover it. Okay, so it, it addresses that scenario. Okay, so so basically that's the security posture that we are referring to. Any questions? And then there are Azure policy. Okay, so what you have is these are Azure policy, and you can pick and choose which policy you need to apply to your to the backup center. Once again, you don't have to go to a different policy window and select those policy. You have the policies here, and you can see the compliance. Right now, I don't have, it's a test vault. I don't have any policy applied, but if you have, you will see the policy compliance here. Finally, these are the protection policy, you know. So these are basically, I talk to you about this enhanced backup policy. You may have some other policies here, and then these are the list of vaults that are here. Okay, so you can go in and create the vaults here. So it will ask you what type of vault you want to do. Recovery service, backup vault. Recovery service is used for, virtual machines, files, SQL virtual machine, things like that. On the other hand, backup vault is used for Azure SQL, different type of Azure database for different servers. You see, so all of that is available here. You can pick and choose. So once again, single pane of glass, the theme that I talked to you about, that all of that information is available on the screen, and you can use that information. You don't have to switch screens, go in a separate window to create a vault and come back here. So that's that. And, and if we, so that's pretty much that I wanted to cover in on that topic. Any questions, folks?
Sorry, Navid, I have a quick question.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, is the business continuity center is possible create in a high availability, or is you create only the high in a high availability for the multiple zones and regions, the vault, right? Or the business continuity center is distributed in all region, right?
Actually, that's a very good question. Business Continuity Center is just combining the services. So you will have to
Yeah.
create those services like backup, multi-region, recovery service vault, multi-region. That you have
Okay.
to do because it's
Okay.
a, think of it, it's a, how should I say it? It's a kind of a universal service that is bringing all these resources and services on a single pane of glass. Because if
Okay.
you remember, we have to go in and we have to create a recovery service vault. I can
Mm.
search, create the recovery vault, create the backup vault. Okay,
Yeah.
now go to the VM and do the um, uh, you know um, do the backup and or restore. Everything now is available on a single screen.
Mm. Okay.
That's the thing. It is not doing anything that is, to be very frank, on its own, or it's kind of it's a service that is basically combining other services, and that's why you have to look at all the warnings and errors that it provides. So maybe you want to look at, okay, I think I need to set up my vault uh, to replicate in different regions and things like that.
Yeah.
So that is
Mm.
still at the individual resource basis, but it gives you access to all of these things in one place.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, folks, we are going to quickly go back and do a recap. So, Azure Business Continuity Center is a public preview service that brings all the capabilities for managing, monitoring, and checking the compliance of your BCDR operations. Okay, so this is single pane of glass to do all that. It is basically replacing Azure Backup Center. You cannot, you if you try to find Azure Backup Center, it's not available. You should be using Azure Business Continuity Center. Okay, as I said, it provides a single pane of glass for number one for setting up backups for your virtual machines, for your storage account, for your data sources. Second, it allows you, so the people in your organization or your customers' organization who are responsible for managing those backups or monitoring those backups, it allows them to access the detailed information, how the backups are going, are there any issues, and fix them. Third, it gives access to your security team to see the compliance of those backups. Are they meeting your organization policies and for compliance? So all of these things are available as a part of Azure Business Continuity Center. So with that, any further questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, I will give everybody their 5 minutes back and hope to see everybody next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.